Awesome. Bryce, how are you today?
Good.
Good. So if you remember in our lesson yesterday, we learned about the writing tree. Do you remember a little bit about the writing tree?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, awesome. So I'm going to have you talk me through what we learned about yesterday and what each letter in the tree stands for. So what does the T stand for?
T stands for topic sentence.
Great. And the R?
R stands for the reasons. You need 3 or more.
Great. And the first E?
It's the ending.
And the last E?
Examine.
Awesome. And then what do we use this writing tree for? What does it help us with?
So we're writing a paper.
Writing our paper. And we're going to be working on our opinion papers pretty soon. But to start out, we're going to read a really fun book today. Okay, looking at this picture, what do you think this book is about?
Pigs.
Pigs, exactly. And it's called A Pig Parade is a Terrible Idea. Have you seen a parade before?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and what's in a parade?
Lots of trucks with trailers behind them.
Yep, that's a parade. Exactly. I've got a picture here of a parade. You see them here?
Mm-hmm.
How they're in the different costumes for the parade, and there's lots of people. Well, we're going to read about a pig parade. So I just wanted to make sure that we knew what that was before we started. Okay? Okay, here we go. Like most children, you have probably thought to yourself at one time or another, I bet a pig parade would be a lot of fun. And yes, a pig parade certainly sounds like fun. It's even fun to say. Go ahead. Say pig parade a couple times.
Pig parade, pig parade.
Even faster?
Pig parade, pig parade.
Awesome. After all, what could be more fun than gathering a few hundred pigs together for a grand parade and then watching them proudly march together in perfect formation down the finest boulevard of your hometown? The only problem is, a pig parade is a terrible idea. For one thing, pigs hate to march. They prefer to snuffle, which is kind of like walking with your nose. Snuffling is fine when you're trying to find leftover apple skins and acorns around the barnyard, but snuffling is simply an inappropriate way to conduct yourself along a parade route. That's just one reason why a pig parade is a terrible idea. Also, pigs absolutely refuse to wear majorette uniforms. Even if you are able to find enough majorette uniforms for all of your pigs, which is a very difficult job in and of itself, just try getting those hundred of pigs to put them on. So you see here how they've got the different uniforms?
Mm-hmm.
We saw those in the picture of the parade that they wear when they march together.
Okay.
Those are the majorette uniforms. They will not do it. Perhaps they consider majorette uniforms unflattering. Nonsense. Everybody looks sharp in a majorette uniform, even pigs, especially pigs. But when you try explaining that to them, they just look at you as if you are speaking a language they do not understand. Again, a pig parade is a terrible idea. You cannot have a parade without floats, right? Well, forget it. Pigs don't care about floats. Pigs don't care about all the time and energy you spent creating a Three Little Pigs float or a Wilbur the Pig from Charlotte's Web float. In fact, the only float pigs care about are root beer floats, which they love. Have you had a root beer float before? Mm-hmm. I think they're pretty good, aren't they?
Good.
Then there is the matter of music. Pigs have horrible taste in music. If you give a group of pigs marching band instruments to play, do you think they would play good, spirited marching band music? What do you think?
Probably not.
Probably not. Look, he's got his head in the tuba right here. No, they will not. They will play sad, sad country music ballads with titles like My Tears Are Wet Because My Mud's Gone Dry, and I Just Want to Plop Into This Bucket of Slop. That kind of music is fine for slow dancing at hoedowns, but it's not appropriate for a parade. Face it, a pig parade is a terrible idea. Finally, there are the giant balloons to consider. Everybody knows that giant balloons are the best part of any parade. Well, who do you think is going to hold all those balloons to keep them flying away? The pigs, right? Wrong. Even if pigs wanted to hold the balloons instead of finding filthy puddles on the street to lie in, they couldn't do it. because while pig hooves are good for digging up wild mushrooms, when it comes to holding giant parade balloons, they are simply not up to the job. And what happens when balloons go unattended? They bump into buildings or simply drift off into outer space, which would be fine for Martians, but awful for those of us trying to enjoy a pig parade here on Earth. So when you consider the constant snuffling, the refusal to wear majorette uniforms, the disinterest in pig-themed literary floats, pigs' preference for weepy country ballads, and their utter lack of discipline regarding proper balloon handling, it should be absolutely, completely, and totally clear that a pig parade is a terrible idea. A panda bear parade, on the other hand, would be fantastic. Okay, Bryce, what did you think about our book?
I liked it.
You liked it?
Mhm.
So what do you think? Do you think a pig parade is a good idea?
Probably not.
Probably not. Awesome. So now we're going to write an opinion paper. But before we do that, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about something I do before I write a paper.
Okay.
Actually, before I do really anything. And these are called self-statements. So let's talk about something that I like to do, and that's cooking. Have you cooked a little bit before?
A little bit.
A little bit. I really like it, and I find it lots of fun. So before I start cooking, I ask myself, what do I have to do here? Well, I have to cook a meal. And then I ask myself, what can I make that people will like to eat? And then I can have fun cooking it. And then I think to myself, well, I probably need to find a recipe. And while I'm cooking, I need to concentrate on it and follow what it says so the meal comes out tasting nice and yummy. And then while I'm cooking, I say things to myself like, I can handle this. I can do this. I like to cook. I've done a lot of it before. And if I get lost, I can go right back to my recipe and I can follow it and make a yummy meal. And then when I'm done cooking, I think, wow, look what I've made. I'm pretty proud of myself. I followed all my steps and I made a great meal. So those are called self-statements, okay? You can even use them when you're doing something that's kind of hard. So for me, it's really hard to draw. I'm not a very good artist. So when I'm told in class that I have to draw something, I get really nervous. So I've taught myself before I start drawing, I can think, okay, what do I have to accomplish here? I have to draw a picture. What can I do before I start? Well, I'm going to concentrate. I'm going to think about what I'm going to draw and break it into steps so it's easier for me. And then when I am drawing, I can think, I've got this. Look how far I've already come. And I've only got this much more to go. I can organize and I can think of different ideas for my drawing. I can look at examples, and so I have different ideas in my head. And then when I finish, I think, wow, I am so proud of myself. Look what I've done. And if I messed up at all, I can think, okay, what would I fix to make it even better next time? So those are some of my self-statements. So Bryce, what's one thing that you are really good at?
I'm good at skiing.
Skiing. That is awesome. So talking about self-statements, what's something you could tell yourself before you go skiing?
I'm excited to go skiing. I'm good at this.
Yes, exactly. And then while you're skiing, what do you think about?
I think I really like skiing. I'm good at skiing.
Yeah. Did you learn to ski overnight? Was it easy? No, it probably took a lot of practice, huh? And then what do you think after you finish?
I'm really glad I did that. That was really fun.
That's great. Now let's talk about something that might be kind of hard for you. What would be hard for you, Bryce?
Maybe math.
Math can be difficult, can it? So when you get a really hard math assignment and you think, I just don't know what to do, what are some things you could tell yourself before you start it?
I know I can do this if I work hard at it.
If you work hard, yeah. We talked about, like in our tree statements, maybe breaking things down into different parts, right? So what could you say while you're working on it and you get to a really hard question?
I know I can do this if I study hard.
Yeah, if you work at it, exactly, and just keep pushing. And then after you finish your math assignment, how do you feel?
Good.
Good. Yeah, why do you feel good?
Because I did it.
You did it, and you pushed through, right?
Yep.
That is awesome. So Bryce, we're going to use these self-statements that we practice to write our opinion paper now, okay? And take it through the steps and talk about the book we just read.